Hi, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of a tailor-made life podcast, where every conversation is one step closer to designing the life that God has for you. I'm your host, Taylor Renee, and as always, I'm so excited to have you back here with me. Let's just jump right into it, shall we? This past week, I believe, there was an influencer slash like CEO by the name of Grede, right? And she was kind of going viral for her views about work-life balance and how she navigates being a mom and a CEO. And so, of course, her views were kind of controversial, so it got everybody talking, everybody doing these think pieces. But it got me to wondering about how I truly felt about work-life balance, or what does that look like for myself. Up until this moment, I treated work-life balance like something that I could fix with a new skincare routine, or a new hairdo, or getting my nails done. I thought that was that was as far as work-life balance went, and I'm realizing now that it's not as simple, right? Like it's not that. Like I'm learning what real balance looks like and what it really means. I've been analyzing, ever since this conversation came up, I've been analyzing it through the lens of a believer, and how does God feel about work-life balance. And I think being ambitious, right, is great. I'm obviously gonna champion an ambitious young person. I love to see us succeed. I love to see us chase our dreams. Like all of those things they're beautiful. Like it brings me great satisfaction, right? But the more I think about it, like God didn't just call us to be workhorses, right? He didn't call me just by my work occupation. He didn't call me by my role or my title, right? Like I'm not meant to be a workhorse for the rest of my life. And neither are you. We're more than our job titles. We're more than our careers. We're more than our roles. More than a teacher, more than a nurse, more than a music executive. Like we've been called by our full name, not by nurse, teacher. Does that make sense? Like, I think we lock in so much in that certain part of our lives, specifically with our work. And this pod, like I talk about work a lot, all the things that come with work and the pressures and the balances and everything. But I don't want it to get confused with all I do is work. All I care about is work, because that is a lie. It just becomes easier to lock in on one specific part of your life. And before you know it, that's all you have, right? You don't pour into any other relationships, any other parts of your life, only work. And then it becomes an idol, right? And then our whole lives are consumed by our work, and that's it. When in reality, that's not how God intended for it to be. That's not what he wanted. I just don't want to miss out on everything that God is showing me. I don't want to miss out on everything that God has called for me. I don't want to miss out on the family and my husband and my work as a server, my work as a believer, my work as I don't want to miss out on the fullness, the wholeness of my life, because I'm so focused on just work. And I don't want you to miss out on that either. I don't want us to grow up and look back 10, 15 years later and all we have is work. As believers, I feel like it is our job to submit our ambitions. It's our job to submit our dreams, our goals, our aspirations to the Lord, and allow for Him to bring forth the fruit that comes from it. If not, then we're either going to miss out, right? Or we're going to create a false idol, a false God within our work. We're going to tie our self-identity and our self-worth into the talents and the role and the recognition and the satisfaction you get from work. And then what do you have at the end of it? Prime example, right? I see this all the time because in the music industry, there are so many phenomenally talented women. Beautiful, talented, smart, creative. Literally, some of your favorite artists, celebrities, and whoever you see on TV or whatever, they are being led by women, right? They have a team of women behind them who are championing them and pushing them forward, right? And so these women that are in this music industry are just, they're alpha, right? They're dominant, they're fierce, and they're like so talented they barely know what to do with it, right? And so I listen to them, I talk to them, and they start off like you and I, right? Young, ambitious, just full of knowledge, full of dreams, full of passion, right? And so they get into this industry and they spend, the next 5 to 7 years strictly working, right? Similar to me, just working, enjoying a little bit on the side, but mainly working. The next 10 to 15 years, right? These are the pivotal years, because as you climb the ranks, your money gets better, your connections get better, your standards get higher, your family gets pushed aside more, you start moving, you're in LA, you're in New York, you're moving and shaking and grooving, right? And everything's looking up and up, right? There are guys that are coming, they're potential suitors, but you're not really worried about them because they don't meet your standards, right? All of the things that they've kind of put into their minds, right, about their status and their worth versus everybody else. It's a thing. It's a real thing. But the main thing here is they start to get rewarded for their work. Like any other job, right? The better you are, the more rewarded you are. The higher your role is, the higher your job title is, the more opportunities you get, right? And it becomes something where they tie their identity into their career, right? Their self-worth starts to become warped into their performance. And so now they can't let it go. Right now, their job and their career has become something that they need in their lives to keep filling that void. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to bash it's not to bash any career ambitious woman. Like, obviously I aspire to be one, but I'm just telling you what I've seen, what I've heard. I've sat on the phone with these women. I've sat in conferences and sat on calls where they're like, yeah, I don't have any work-life balance. I don't preach. I don't advocate for work-life balance. I'm not gonna be the one to say, oh, balance your life with your career. And that's what they're telling us. That's what they're kind of feeding us. And I get it. On one end, I really, truly get it. I get where they're coming from, because when you're young, I do believe that you should work. I do believe that this is the time to put your head down and work your ass off, right? Like, work your butt off. I believe in that. But I also believe in the idea that God has called me for more. God has not only called me to be a workhorse. God has called me to spread his word. He didn't just call me to work. And so, yes, I am going to work my butt off, but I'm also going to make sure that I'm aligned with God and what he says and what he has for my life, right? And so with in that example, the one thing that I hear the most from them is, if I had to go back and do it all over again, I would give more time into my family. I would pour more time into my relationship. I would prioritize relationships. I would prioritize, family. I would just prioritize other parts of my life. And I'm sitting there looking at them like, ding, 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 right? Like, that's the part that you were missing. You got everything else right, but when it came time to pour into things that were not flashy and directly advantageous for you in that moment, then you let it go. And that's not, I just want to caution us from doing that. I don't want to do that, right? I don't want to miss out on my husband. I don't want to miss out on my family. I don't want to miss out on nieces and nephews and fulfilling work that God has called for me. I don't want to miss out on that because I'm too busy pursuing a career. So knowing that God didn't just call us by our job is knowing that what he has for us, what he has for you, is bigger than what any job, any career could ever do for you. It's bigger than that. It's fulfilling. It's more fulfilling than any job, any career could ever give to you. And so, yeah, I just wanted to hop on here and give a quick think piece about it. So for us who are trying to figure out this whole work-life balance thing, and so yes, do your best when it's time to work your butt off, work until you can't work anymore, right? Pursue your dreams relentlessly, Don't miss out, right? Pursue them. But please find what works for you. Listen to God about what season you're in. That's the key. What season are you in your life? Right now, this is the season for me to work, right? Next season, it may be the season for me to plant. It may be the season for me to pour into a relationship. It may be the season for me to pour more into my family. It may be the season to be a better friend, to be a better sister. But we live our lives in chapters, right? And so every chapter is not going to be work. Every chapter, work is not going to be the main character, okay? Listen to God. When he says to pivot, pivot, right? When that special relationship comes along, cherish it, nourish it, pour into it, right? When family calls, answer the phone, right? And when he says your work is done, don't fight him on it, because he's called us for more, you know? Maybe the goal isn't perfect balance in our lives, right? Maybe the goal isn't even balance, right? Maybe the goal is obedience. Maybe the goal is alignment, you know, because he has called us for more. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I thank you so much for listening. Please, please, please drop in the comments below. Let me know how you've been navigating work-life balance. What are your thoughts on it? And how do you feel about it? What do you do? So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. And as always, thank you so much for listening. And yeah, till next time, bye.